The first thing we see is a light blue background. An outline of a house appears, with the word home in the middle. The next page is a white background. Large black text appears in sections. It reads, "Welcome to our homes, ... virtually. Please take off your shoes, yes, even if you're outside." This online installation is a continuation of a physical installation at the Young Vic in 2019. With a group of young people, we explored their personal concepts of home. Houses, cities, countries, spices, churches, textures, smells, and games. Our homes have taken on entirely new meanings. This site reflects parts of those changes for these young people. Take some time with this digital space. Be curious. Best to explore on a bigger screen than most phones or tablets, preferably on something with a trackpad or mouse. So grab a laptop or dust off your desktop. Put the brightness up. Headphones on and volume just below max. If you can, put a pillow behind you. Take care of that posture and get rid of any distractions. That person in your DMs can wait. All done? Yes? Great. P.S. If you're outside and took off your shoes, you're a mug. Now, scroll down. We see an outstretched arm pointing towards the right of the screen. We see large text that reads, "This space is bigger than it seems." Smaller text follows underneath. We want you to feel free to get lost here. We have planted images, text, sounds, and experiments around the digital space. Just click or hover. Everything matters as much or as little as you want it to. This symbol will help you take you somewhere familiar, and these handy pointers will guide you along the way. A hand points towards the bottom of the screen. We see 3 birds flying across the screen diagonally. There are 3 questions next to each bird. The first one reads, "Describe your perfect home." We hover over the first bird, and it reads, "My perfect home would have my family close to me." The second question reads, "How would you change the world?" We hover over the second bird, and it reads, "Hunger, pollution, deforestation, clean water daily, and overpopulation." And the final question reads, "Have your dreams been more vivid?" We hover over the third bird, and it reads, "During the lockdown, I have become more passionate about my dreams." At the bottom of the screen, we see a shaking house covered in scaffolding, with a man still at the top of it. On the next page, we see a light blue background again. At the top, a picture of a watch. It is 8:05. We don't know if it is the morning or the evening. Time isn't the same as it used to be. There is text that reads, "Lockdown to me represents new beginnings." After all, it gave us all time to stop and realise that time is something that should be spent wisely. Lockdown gave us time to appreciate life. It brought communities together. There is another black and white picture taken of the Young Vic from across the road outside the Spanish restaurant on the corner. The text reads, "During the lockdown, I have become more passionate about my dreams of becoming an actor, as it has gifted me more time to think about my path." The last picture is of a father and son smiling at us. It is warm and genuine. They have been on a journey somewhere, but maybe the place isn't that important. What matters is that they spent time together. The text reads, "If I ran the world, the main problems I would attempt to make better are world hunger, pollution, deforestation, making sure everyone has clean water, and overpopulation." On the next page, we see the shaking house again. Next to it, a hand pointing to a large title that reads, "This space continues. Keep exploring." We see small pointing hands along the screen, that take us to an image of a young girl. She has birds flying across her with a yellow sun background. At the bottom of her, we see flashing images of the word simplicity, along with protesters. The next page is a pink background of slightly ruffled paper, a picture of 4 young black girls making a loving circle around a little toddler. They smile as they look down at the little one. She is happy and safe. Their hair is freshly cornrowed, faces glistening. Another picture of an ever-rising staircase going into a blue, cloudy sky. A young woman stands at the bottom, making a choice as to whether or not she will see where the staircase leads. The text reads, "There are so many things I wanted to do, but I can't do." Another picture, this one of a protest. The placard reads, "Stand against racism and Black Lives Matter." The crowd have their protective masks over their mouths and noses, but their eyes aren't covered. In one person's eyes you see frustration, determination, and anger. They are all marching for justice. Text reads, "I just don't feel in control right now." Makes me feel out of place. The last picture is of a group of people of different races and religions and cultures. They look out at us with smiles on their faces and contentment in their eyes. On the next page, we see that hand pointing towards the right of the screen again, and large text in black reading "Keep Going." And we have smaller hands pointing down the screen. As I follow them, we come to different options of where to go, but I follow the hands pointing down. We come across a flying bird and large pink text reading, "Close your eyes and hear our dreams." And as I follow the screen down even more, we see text that reads, "And don't forget your headphones." We see pink clouds and a video link. When I click play, we hear household sounds.
Managed to make the design and cut the pieces. So now the sketching is
keep the soundbite playing while I move through the space. We see large black text reading "Go the other way." So I follow the way I came, and it brings us back up to the middle of the page and that hand pointing upwards. We see an image of a park with a young woman standing on top of it. We see pink, large text reading "Beautiful sky." As I go down to the middle of the page, we see another pointing hand pointing towards the right. And as we follow it, we see an image of a pair of glasses and flashing images of different landscapes. On the next page, we see a bright yellow background and a sketched picture of a young man. He is wearing thick framed glasses that themselves are framed by well-defined eyebrows. The text reads, "Before I was kind of floating through life a bit. I wasn't really focusing on things, I was just approaching things as they came. I'm not more in control, but I'm planning ahead more. I was already spending a lot of time here anyway. Like, I didn't go out a lot, but it starts to feel quite restrictive. I took up photography. I got this camera off eBay. I've been taking pictures of basically my house because right at the beginning of lockdown, I didn't want to go out because I was too. Right at the beginning, I was terrified to go out. I would even not risk going for a cycle. You start to notice different things. I guess you spend a lot of time just being there in one spot. I just take out my camera and get what I could. I've lived here my entire life. It's weird. I was sat in the same chair doing the same things. And you just go into this weird haze, like a slump. Nothing feels different and time isn't moving and you can't leave because you'll get hurt or you'll die. It's just the same space over and over and over. At the bottom of the screen, we see "and over," flashing in blue in several spaced out paragraphs. At the bottom of the page, we see the word "click." It's repeating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times down the page. On the next page, we come to a white background. We see a video link. It shows footage of a kettle pouring boiling water into a mug and rain slashing down outside. We see leaves outside blowing in the wind. We see a view from a window looking out. We see a cat lying on a fluffy rug. The camera zooms in to get a closer look. We see another view from the house. A brick wall with weeds coming out. We see the cat again, but this time from the other side. We now see a large house plant with a study in the background full of books. And now we see a bedroom. Light curtains are blowing in the wind. And the screen cuts to black. As we scroll down, we see an array of images. The first is a picture of a bird feed. Another, a shelf in the middle of the day against a white wall. Daffodils live and die in a transparent blue vase. A little toy house, a candlestick, a dolphin playing with an orange ball. A picture of a tiger hangs on the wall above it, all nonchalant. A clock says it's 9:05. Keys hang out of a door on a sunny day. The door is open. People are outside. A broken roof tile. They should probably get that fixed. A statuette of a topless one-armed woman with long flowing hair hung on a white wall. A dark night. A single light source attached to the side of a building. The light is warm, yellow, and obscured by a vine in the foreground. An equally warm yellow light comes through a speckled window. The sun has just set. Or is it just rising? The blinds are open to both possibilities. On the next page, we see an outstretched arm signaling us to go to the right. We see the word click in big black bold lettering. On the next page, we see a bright blue background with the word click in large lettering flashing on the screen. As we click, it takes us to a yellow bright background and the word click again flashing on the screen, this time smaller. And as we click again, we come to a bright pink background with that word again click, but even bigger than before, flashing slowly. On the next page, we come to a black background with a video at the top of the page. As I press play, you will see the words of this poem appear on the screen.
Our Society by Alyssa Coty. We dwell in a world full of people with lifeless souls pretending that they're living, yet their hearts have been born something like a glacier cold and feliciously forcing a grind to only impress people behind the screens, to validate how they'd be reaching unattainable and unrealistic goals. But the reality is that they're just consumed with an internal pain whilst chasing external methods to alleviate this, faking that facade with a sheepish smile on their face. Got them drawn into the mirror, questioning if they're idealistic or fake, wondering whether they should put their ego aside for the day, persistently trying to close up that void that runs deeper than glue. But in a few hours, they'll be back on their knees, pleading if God could save them too. What have we become? Just lost, evanescent children with nothing much left to do, accomplishing nothing, becoming impulsive and jumping into situations without sense or a clue, and trying to find love that can realistically solve the issue. Brown, yet prepossessing, our skin bleeds in melanin, coated in honey, and flaunts without imperfection, curated perfectly without fault. Rare, like a Honduran emerald, yet society continuously fails to recognize this beauty that was placed on the same land that we all catch our breath from. They watch with bold and vigorous eyes when we're in our element, only seem to love us when it's relevant, can't stand our intelligence, and so try to conceal us until we're irrelevant. We're projected as the villain, with our every storyline obtaining an apparent power to pose grey threat to society, a nemesis to the world. Yet our blood still oozes, the same blood you trickle. Alas, we stand firm, strengthened by the roots of our forefathers. Our crowns still coruscate and catch the gleaming light that illuminates day by day. We carry dignity and honor respect. We sustain our names proudly on our chests. Being black is my biggest blessing. I avoid imagining it any other way.
When it finishes, we see the words scroll down, and as we do, we see white writing flashing on the screen. It reads, "You're almost at the end, ish. Thank you for exploring. Here are the voices of the young collaborators. Have a listen. When you're done, you can either go back to the top of the site and take the journey again, or you can close the browser. Thank you for coming." There's a SoundCloud link at the bottom of the page.
I hope to be in the creative industry, either as a presenter or some kind of entertainer, in like Hollywood, or just I hope that in that time aspire to become that, and hopefully if I don't like be on TV, I hope to either like start a YouTube channel. That's a really big one for me. And I kind of want to have a child, just at least just one child, a girl. And I imagine myself on the red carpet with like a long black dress, because I don't really like the fact of like a red carpet and a red dress, because it kind of, kind of merge into the background, and I don't want that. That's it really.
I hope to be an actress, as I like acting right now, and also I hope to have opened my own pharmacy.
My name's Kieran, and I'm 15 years old. And in 13 years' time, I'll be 28. And I see myself being an actor, preferably working at the Young Vic and helping as much people as I can. And hopefully I've saved enough money to travel and learn different cultures of other countries to experience their lives in different ways.
I see myself still in uni, probably trying to get a PhD, or probably settle down as well.
Being comfortable, being able to travel around the world and not live a normal, mundane life. I cannot stay in the same place for too long. But I do not know if I want kids, because I don't have the patience for kids. I just want to have fun and travel the world. I'm not sure what career I'll be in right now, so I can't really say, because I believe words have power. But I just want to have fun and travel the world.
In 13 years' time, I see myself still studying in university, getting my PhD, or I've either settled down in a family.
I hope to be in America, finish studying law in uni, married, with kids, owning my own law firm in a glass building with an office at the top.
In the next 13 years, probably I'll be driving. I would maybe like got married, had a child. I don't know. Got a good job. I want to have a lot of money by then. Yeah.
What job do you want to do? What's your dream job?
I don't know. I just want something that can make a lot of money. In 4 months, I'm 16, so I can get a job then.